Hey guys, what's up? MurderofBirds here, and this is my review for Hunter x Hunter, episode 147. And I can't believe that there's one episode left. One episode left in this anime greatness. And I can't believe it. Like, I remember watching this series back in October, starting it, marathoning it, catching up in the Chimera Ant arc, bringing reviews to my channel, growing a fan base, and to now know that there's one episode left, and the way that this episode closed off with the development that we got from Koala and Kite, and with Gon and Killua with their departure, and then Gon and Jing having their moment in the next episode, it's just too it's a very surreal feeling. Like I can't believe that it's really happening. Like my Tuesdays are never going to be the same again. My Hunter Tuesdays, which is what I quote my Tuesdays, Hunter is the highlight of my Tuesdays, no matter what happens, and it's not going to be the same. And I'm really going to miss it, especially with the people who read the manga, and the manga's on hiatus again. So, I mean, this anime to me has changed my life and how I view anime and what I cherish in life and the messages and values that it teaches me. And it's a beautiful anime. It really is. It's like it. It's in my top five for sure, and I would almost go as far to say it's like one of the best animes in the world that I've ever watched and witnessed, and that's in my entirety of watching anime in my entire life. But this episode was phenomenal. It was portrayed very well. The feels at the end were just insane. We got introduced to Koala, which is one of those Chimera ants that we didn't really get that much development with during the Chimera arc, during which the time a lot of the Chimera ants left the queen and went to go do their own thing. He's one of those ants who we didn't really get to see what happened to him or what became of him, whatever, and it seems like he found his place with Kite, and it seemed like this episode, the first half, is a lot of him trying to redeem himself and trying to find salvation in the fact that he felt bad about a lot of things that he's done with being a Chimera ant, particularly killing that human girl, which he saw an inherited resemblance in Kite because he killed her, so his Chimera ant buddies didn't, torture her and, before they ate her or did whatever the hell they were going to do with her. To me, that's actually a lot of great development for him as a character, because the way that he just perceived, the thought of, how he transcended life of, being a soul, and he talked about, how significant souls transcend life and have very strong power and meaning and presence. If your soul is able to transcend a former life into a new life and retain the memories of your past life, of him being a mobster and essentially living the same life that he did when he was a human as a Chimera ant, just mercilessly killing people. And, the cycle of his life was reiterating, and he felt like he would never be able to break the cycle. And it seemed to me like he was trying to find salvation before, so eventually down the road, if he ended up dying, he could feel, grateful for himself. And I really do like how Kite made it so, hey, your life is going to be worthful. Your life is going to be meaningful in me, in the person that you're trying to find redemption for. You will live out your redemption for me every day, and you will apologize to this person every day, and I will make sure that your life has meaning to the point where you aren't even going to be able to decide what's right or wrong. So the first half was actually really great. It was very dialogue heavy because I did do a live reaction, so the dialogue for me was a little bit jumbled. I had to go back and watch it and really perceive what he was saying because, obviously doing a live reaction, it pertains to my reaction. But I like how now Kite and Koala, I don't know his name, so I'm just going to call him Koala. Kite and Koala are basically paired up, essentially. And it also makes you think that Koala, I would say, is one of the first ants, essentially, because, like I said, during the Chimera arc, we didn't really get much of him because he just went MIA until this episode. I would go as far as to say he's one of the first ants who went through the whole emotional endeavor that the Chimera ants were going with, separating their humanistic traits from their Chimera their ant-like traits, and how their emotions essentially get the better of them and change them as people as to where, they don't know who's in the right, if the humans are in the right or if they're in the right or in the wrong. And I guess for Koala, he felt like, his choices and his decisions were something that he regretted in the end, which is why he went to the trouble of, hey, talking to Kite about how he carried the will, the physical appearance of the girl that he killed. And it seemed like he really did care about the people that he was just mercilessly killing instead of, going through the life that he once already lived as an ant on top of that. So I really did enjoy that first part, primarily the first half of the episode. Very dialogue heavy, really great development for Koala as a human and more so as a transcendent life of a chimera ant, and just knowing that his life wasn't just about mercilessly killing people, that he did have a heart and he did, have remorse for the things that he did in his life. So that in of itself, one of the great lessons that Hunter x Hunter shows you, that not everything is just black and white of, you're evil because you did this. You have a heart, you have a human heart, and no matter what, you are worthy of forgiveness. And I think that's what Kite was trying to do with giving him a new purpose in life of being by his side and always, pretty much being his wingman, or her wingman, however you want to look at it. I still consider Kite a boy, even though he's reincarnated as a girl, just because he was a boy to begin with. So from there we get Kite and Gon. I was so happy to see this moment because it kind of felt like a silver lining of, Gon was down in the dumps of himself. Like, Gon always knew, he was like, Kite is not dead, Kite is alive, and he always kept that cheerful enthusiasm of, there's no way he'd let that thing kill him, this, that, and the other. We find out that Kite died, Gon went through that transformation, did all this crazy shit, and then at the end, Kite, Gon almost paid the ultimate price with his life, the ultimate price with his life of, killing Pito. And then, everything comes back down. Killua and Aluka save him. He comes back, and it turns out that, in essence, Kite really didn't die because he's reincarnated into an ant. And I just felt like that was cool. It was awesome to find the silver lining of everything's all right, at least for Gon's sake, that the things that Gon did weren't for naught, because in the end, Kite really is resurrected. He's alive, granted, under different circumstances, but in the end, Kite is alive. He has his memories retained. And, they see each other as buddies now. His apology went through with Kite, and they consider each other friends. And I really hope we see a lot more of Kite down the line. I mean, as far as the manga goes, I don't really know. But hopefully if the anime ends up coming back in a few years when Togashi gets off his ass and starts working on the manga to separate it for another anime adaptation, I would really like to see Kite, spruced up a lot more in relation with Gon growing up, or even with Jing down the line. So I really did like that as well. They see each other as friends. It was a great silver lining. And to know that Kite is back, with being with his friends and having Koala by his side, it's just really great to see. And it's a really, it's just another icing on, it's just another cherry on top of the great story and how the departure of the anime is going to end with this episode and the next one. Now, before I move on to the actual departure of Gon and Killua, I want to talk a little bit about Kite in of itself. With Kite, he looks, as of right now, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that, after Koala did what he did, killed the girl or whatever, I would say that the queen ate her and ate Kite's brain, because I remember when the royal guards were, talking about Meruem, about feeding him food when he was first born, that the brain is the most nutritious part for an ant, and the most nutritious and the tastiest part of eating humans. So I would think that because Pito wanted to use Kite's body, to train and to fight, that they gave the brain, which is the most nutritious part of the human, to the queen to eat. And during that time, she also ate the body of that girl. And Kite's soul essentially found its way to that girl's body, in essence, when he's reincarnated, because he looks like the girl that Koala was describing, and he retains the memories of, Kite. So I think that's essentially what happened. As of right now, he does look like himself. He has a very slim physique. Well, she looks like he of his former life. Very slim physique. The hair is very thin. If you painted it white, if you colored it white, he would look just like his old self. And I'm wondering if he's going to end up transitioning into an adulthood, because he's aging rapidly. I would say it's been about, I don't know, like a month's time. I don't know how long it's been, maybe 2 weeks to a month's time since the Chimera Ant arc ended, and he's already like I would say almost in the teenage years, essentially what he looks like. So the aging process is growing rapidly with Kite. And not to mention like the potential of his Nen, because at the same time he's essentially Meruem's twin sister, because they were born at the same time. So I don't know if the potential of Nen transferred over as well to her when Meruem was born, as well as crazy slots, since Jing mentioned that he's the one who taught Kite how to use Nen, essentially taught him crazy slots and all that. So I'm wondering if down the line, when Kite gets older, if she'll be able to not only use crazy slots, but also have the potential of having a massive Nen reserve like Meruem, or maybe that's just too hacked, since she is also part Chimera Ant, part human. So there's that. As well, and I'll mention another thing before I move on to the feels of this episode is Colt, because at the very end when they were waving goodbye to Gon, Colt was in the window, and I feel like at this point he realizes that that's not his sister, that's not Reyna, and I feel like now that he realizes he's essentially in a sense lost his purpose, and he doesn't know that Reyna is alive in the form of an aunt back at home with the mother. I feel like Colt down the line is going to go back home in disappointment of himself, of thinking that he couldn't protect his sister and thinking that his sister's dead, and going to the mother and pleading and begging her to forgive him. And then the silver lining for that as well is that if he ends up doing that, he's going to find out that his sister is alive, that Bravada is living amongst the village as well, and that they can essentially be a big family again. And essentially, obviously they all look different, but the mother was able to accept Reyna, so obviously she's going to accept Colt, and the fact that he was trying to be a big brother even afterwards, with trying to raise Kite, thinking that was Reyna because of the red hair and the female physique and all that stuff. So I really hope that happens again. Togashi, get off your goddamn ass and work on the manga so I can essentially get that in the anime. That'd be great. But the freaking feels. I was not expecting the ending of the credits with Reasons, the ending for the Greed Island arc. That was like the best portrayal. And I did it in my live reaction, and I had to mute it because I didn't want to get copyright strikes on my channel. But afterwards, after my live reaction was done, I went back and I watched that scene with the music, and it brought me to tears. I didn't actually cry, but my eyes were getting very teary-eyed, because it's just like these two have been through so much together. From episode 2 or 3 when they first met, they've gone through everything. They've gone through their struggles. Killua was picking on Gon a little bit for how Gon treated him in the Chimera Air arc. They've gone through Greed Island. They've gone through Heaven's Arena. They've gone through the Hunter exams together. They've introduced each other to their families, and these two have just been inseparable since episode 1. And to see them both go off on their own way, their own path, Gon with his father, wanting to talk with his father and, get that father-son interaction. And then Killua with being the ultimate big brother of wanting to protect Aluka from the family and have her be free of herself and, travel the world or whatever with each other. That was just, I couldn't have asked for a better way to go on a departure, because it wasn't heartbreaking to the point where it's like, oh my god, these two are never going to see each other. They're both kids. Down the line, I'm pretty sure that their paths will cross again. They will, link up and have a lot of stories to tell one another. But it's just crazy because these two have always been together. One has never been without the other for more than a few days or anything. So that in of itself was just phenomenal. Just the relationship between the two. I wish I had a relationship or a friendship like that, in the sense of everything that we've been through together. And it's not goodbye. It's not an infinite goodbye to you forever. And it was just heartbreaking, because I feel like I'm a part of that relationship, because I've been watching the series since October. I've been watching the series, and ever since, I've grown with the relationship of Gon and Killua and the struggles and the trials and tribulations that these two have been through together. And to see them both go on their own way, it is heart-wrenching, it's heartbreaking, and it's very saddening to see. But at the same time, it's growth for both of them, for what they individually want to do. And like I said, I really hope we get another adaptation down the line, maybe a time skip from here. I know the Dark Continent's in the manga, but if we get an anime adaptation and we get to see them two come back together, that would just be phenomenal. I don't know in the sense of Kurapika, because I'm really surprised that they haven't mentioned him or brought him into light or of anything that's happened so far. But like I said, I feel like this is ending now because the manga has been on a 2-year hiatus and everything that's happening. Next episode, the World Tree. World Tree's got a really good track record of killing a lot of people, of being a really great challenge. 30 people per year make it to the top, and I feel like because Jing's mentioned to Gon, hey, meet me on the World Tree, that's not the first time that he's transcending. He's not traveling on that tree for the first time, and probably just another little test for his son to just be like, hey, try to meet me on this World Tree if you can. That's just another testament that you are ready and you've done a lot that you can essentially to meet my expectations, to want to meet me, to be a profound, to be a really great hunter, a world-renowned hunter as well. So next episode is gonna be so fucking awesome. Like these two are just gonna sit. Like from the preview that I showed, I feel like it's gonna be them talking from morning when Gon reaches the top, and they're just gonna spend the whole day just talking. Gon just talking about everything that he's done, like everything, like the Hunter exams, Heaven's Arena, his reaction, his relationship with Killua, all the stuff that he's gone through. Of at the end, that moment of I did all of this to meet you. And I hope Jing actually takes some time to actually be a really great father figure, not just spitting advice, but being proud of his son and the fact that everything that he's done, he's believed in his son from day one, and just looking at his son and being like, I love you, and I'm looking for some type of sappy stuff like that. Even though Jing did get flustered when he first met Gon. Father-son talking. I hope they mention Mito-san. That would be boss if at the very end of the episode they go back to Whale Island with Mito-san, and Mito-san and Jing have like their little debacle of, hey, where the hell have you been? I've missed you for so long, this, that, and the other. Oh, the last episode is gonna fucking destroy my soul, dude. The last episode is gonna destroy my heart, my life force, my soul, my everything, and I can't believe it's ending. I can't believe that it's ending, dude. I really can't believe Hunter x Hunter is ending. But it's been fucking gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's one of the best animes I've ever watched in my entire life, and to know that it's ending, I still have that strong belief and that strong sense of faith that this is just a very long hiatus, because the greatness of Hunter can't just end like this. We have so many unanswered questions. What the fuck? What about Carollo? What about the Phantom Troop? What about Bezef and Welfiend going to Meteor City, and that's where the troop resides? What about Hisoka versing Carollo down the line? What about Carollo getting his Nen back? What about, everything? The Chimera ants that are in the Hunter's custody? What about the Dark Continent? All that stuff. I just can't accept that this is it, and I don't know. I just might be in denial. It just might be that my passion and love for Hunter is too great to where I don't want to see it go. But it's like, let me know what you guys thought about it. What do you guys feel about Hunter as a whole? How did you guys get into it? What do you guys thought about this episode? Anything Hunter related? Like, I fucking love this series so much, and I just want to ultimately just talk to you guys about it, because I just can't fucking believe it. Like, this is the second to last episode next week. Like, this is one of the times that I do not want Hunter. Like, I am going to cherish every day I have and extend it to the fullest, and I'm not going to look forward to Hunter on Tuesday, because when I do, it's going to fucking destroy me. It's going to fucking destroy me, dude. And I know that for a fact. But thank you guys for watching this review, hearing what I have to say, expressing myself for the Hunter series and everything. This episode was perfect. It was phenomenal. It was really great, and it's a great way for it to go out. Gon, Killua, they're going their separate ways, but that is not. It's not going to be forever. I'm set in stone on that. But thank you guys for watching this this review about anything that I had to say. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to my channel. I'd really appreciate that. But that's all I got. Thanks for checking out my video, and I will catch you guys next week for the last episode of Hunter x Hunter 2011. Take care.